This is one of those moments where everything's gonna go.
A little bit nerdy, a little bit of geeky. That's what we're all about. Nerd and geek.
You know, that's what it is.
Sometimes when I took my glasses off, people wouldn't even recognize me. It's like Superman Clark Kent, you know?
Let's test out the Gen Z. Which Spider-Man version do you like the best? Welcome back once again to RPG, everyone. Really Passionate Geeks. So happy it is Friday. Do you have a special guest and do you have an update? As you can see, one of our RPG co-hosts has not made it in today. He did have a water leak. So our prayers and best wishes for Kiwi, our co-host there. So hopefully he'll get that wrapped up. But super excited still. Do you have my trusty sidekick, Jon? The Ryan Seacrest of gaming here, and special guest Sophia, which will get you to announce who you are and what you're all about. And as always, J-Dub, Justin, I'm one of your co-hosts is here as well. If you do feed me after midnight with Butterfingers and Surge, I do turn into an Overwatch monster. I'm one of those guys. So you may see me playing Overwatch after midnight. That's me. I'll kick it over to Jon again, Ryan Seacrest of Gaming.
Yeah, that's why you get so good at midnight. Now I get it. It's that surge kicking in. That's supposed to be really expensive too, buying that off of eBay. That'll work. What's up, y'all? I'm Jon, one of the Really Passionate Geeks. And fun fact, in the game of life, I am a low charisma bard, but I'm still chaotic good. Let's toss that over to Sophia Miller. Sophia, welcome to our show. We're so excited to hear and learn about you.
Thank you. Yeah, there's actually this common myth, mistake that people have. They think I'm a golden girl. I'm actually pink.
Oh, we thought you were one of the original Golden Girls cast when we booked you. Oh,
yeah, sorry.
Oh no, awkward.
No.
Awkward.
Yeah, very good friends with Betty White though.
Yep. Which she has been famous on one of our shows for being the possible Deadpool character, which is still unconfirmed, so we don't know.
Fingers crossed on Lady Deadpool. CGI, man. Hologram life.
But we forgot to do a fit check, so I'm wearing my Gremlins. I love my 80s movies. Gizmo.
Aw. Gizmo. I'm gonna actually show mine and then give folks a minute to see if they can figure it out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The true Renaissance artist.
Little Donatello here, little Raphael. Hold on. Yeah, that's right.
A little bit nerdy, a little bit of geeky. That's what we're all about. Nerd and geek.
That's what it is. Just pretend to be smart for long enough and just keep wearing glasses and people may one day assume that you've got some IQ.
Yeah, that definitely worked for me. I got my glasses in 4th grade, and ever since people have been saying that I'm really smart, and I'm not busting that myth.
I had my glasses too. What made you decide to keep the glasses? Because I wear contacts. Mm-hmm. For me, when I wear glasses, I did get bullied because I had the big bifocals. I have an astigmatism, so I had the bifocals at the time, and at the time they didn't have the super thin layers and the eyeglasses. What made you decide to keep the glasses? Both of you guys, actually, because Jon rocks it too.
How about you, Sophia?
Well, so I got them in 4th grade, and contacts weren't really an option because that would be a lot of work to be constantly sticking my fingers in my eyes, and I tried it out for maybe a year. I basically had these try out contacts for a little bit, and they were just the ones that you throw away after, so I could see if I liked doing it before getting the ones that you can in the saline solution. And they were fun to have for little events and things, kind of like my pink hair. My glasses just became part of me, who I am, my personality, something that people associate with me. Sometimes when I took my glasses off, people wouldn't even recognize me. It's like Superman Clark Kent,
Yeah.
Nice. That alter ego, that's your actual ego. I had a different experience. We were joking about what people said when you got your glasses. So I am what you would call ancient, as the youth would say. I think that's a Justin, is that a Jay-Z slang? I know that you're a resident Gen Z linguist.
Elder millennial is still the term.
Yeah. Okay. Just wanted to check. It's more of the spirit. For you. Yeah. When I got my glasses, it was not an era of like, oh, look, it's a smart kid. There was all kinds of fun words. However, this was back in the early 80s where milk was basically made out of growth hormones. So I was very big, a large boy when I was that age. So I didn't get teased quite as much because I was like 6 feet tall in 4th grade. I wish that it would have just kept going on that angle. I'm pretty tall, but I'm not quite on track with that. But so I didn't have to suffer quite as much of the like 4 eyes kind of a thing. But nobody was like, "Oh, look at how smart you are." But the rest of my life tracked with that. Plenty of magic cards and Dungeons and Dragons that would go with the identity that was handed to me with the glasses. But now, Justin, I keep my glasses because being ancient, I need reading glasses. So these are actually just reading glasses that pair nicely with my contacts.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, it's funny. People are making a trend out of it. They're making it hip. People are wearing glasses that have prescriptions too, right?
Yeah.
And then especially the younger generations, they are just going off the wall with the most crazy, big, nerdy glasses. Like the bigger, the more trendier it is. But I love it. Keep the classes going. Go raise your nerd flag and fly it high, as I say.
If you look this up, there's a really interesting like reverse evolutionary trend where there's a preference right now toward people that wear glasses. But if anything, it's like an indicator that genetically you're like not gonna be the fittest, right? Like it's interesting. Like you wouldn't want to have -10 eyes like this guy in the wild. We'll put it that way. I would be picking berries like this.
That's so true. I guess that's why they make the serial killers. They also wear the glasses to make it seem like they're friendly and someone that, oh, this guy's not going to kill me. This guy's not going to, shave off my skin and wear it as a coat.
What's this guy's name? Ted Bundy? Swipe right.
Is that a thing in movies? Do they have serial killers wear glasses? Or do you mean in real life?
or that both? Too. But both.
I'm trying to think of a serial killer that didn't wear glasses.
I mean, this guy wasn't a serial killer, but remember what was it? That Office movie. It wasn't The Office, but it was
Office Space.
Office Space.
Yeah. I wanted to salt around the rim. Yeah.
Those TPS reports that everyone hated that guy and he wore glasses.
Oh, you're talking about Lumbergh. I thought you were talking about Milton?
Not Milton,
Stapler,
not the Stapler
who ended up
guy.
being a arson.
Yeah. Well, I think we got a little sidetracked here. Sorry about this, Sophia. Let's go back to you. We were talking about being bullied before the pre-show here too, but I wanted to get more of your backstory as far as where you're from. What are you currently doing now? We're connected on LinkedIn, as most of our guests here are. We share the same passion in gaming, and as far as professionalism, I've noticed that you have done marketing before in the past, video production, in gaming, and posted some quite nerdy photos too as well. So tell us a little bit who you are and explain what is your geekdom or nerddom looks like.
Yeah, so goodness, where do I start? I was born in Oregon, but my family lived in Alaska, and then we moved to California. I decided to come back to Oregon, and one of the things that I remember about being really little in Alaska was this huge big dinosaur of a computer that we had with I think it was Space Invaders and Minesweep on it. And so I remember those being the first games that I would play. I would just kind of like sit there and just like stare at the screen. Like I was so fascinated by Space Invaders in particular. I think because it was just like colorful. And I was like 2.
Yeah.
That's how we can be friends right away. When you say Space Invaders, we can definitely be friends.
Absolutely. And that's like really where I think the Geekdom nerd fest started. But I I was like 2. I like don't remember, but I just remember being obsessed with that game. And then moving to California, I remember someone like brought over this huge like album of, it was for like CDs and things, but it was filled with CD-ROMs of like different games. Like I remember there was a Jungle Book game. There are games like I don't even know what they were. There was one that was like 1,000 computer games and things like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That Sophia sounds like the thing that you find, like people dream of finding, like the Black Lotus at a garage sale. That would be the thing I would be so pumped to find, is like this binder full of old Sierra games, like pre-Blizzard stuff. Like, oh, that'd be so sick.
Oh my gosh, Myst.
Oh
yeah, finding that sort of CD-ROM is going to be great.
Yeah,
I found my original StarCraft disc the other day, and I was like,
oh wow,
ooh, oh yeah,
that's really cool.
When we still had discs, right? When you had to upload to play a game. Now it's all digital. Now they still have the golden CD. What is it? What do they call it in the business where they published a golden disc? I wrote a blog post about this. I should know. Well, anyways, in the gaming industry, when you publish something and it's still a golden CD-ROM, which signifies you have a master disc, and then you mass copy that disc in order to distribute it to retail. And they still use it even though there is no physical CD-ROM discs when they release those type of games. But
so one of the things that I noticed when I was doing live streams at Congregate is every time we press record, all of the words and things would just like fly out of my head all at once. So it's probably that. We hit record and now it's like...
I think the last time I thought about discs, other than like that StarCraft disc, was like the Uldaman quest in WoW, when you're going after the discs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Dang. Sophia, that mention of Minesweeper and like OG, like factory install OEM games, original pinball on the Windows pinball. I wonder how many people who are creating like the games that we all love so much. I wonder how many people started making the games that we love so much by playing Minesweeper and old school pinball on their Windows machines, because that's like what they had to play.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, because like truthfully, like when I was that young, it's like I didn't have any control over like my hobbies. I was two. Like it's just whatever was around. And so like the fact that that's kind of what I was like gravitating towards is like interesting to me to think about now, because in the moment, and like even like up until recently, those weren't things that I was thinking about. It was just like, someone said like, oh, like when did you know that you wanted to be in video games? And for me, I didn't know I wanted to be in video games until I was in video games. But then looking back, I was like, actually, I think I wanted to be in video games and just didn't realize it, because I've been gaming. I even like got a degree in games. I just didn't think of it as an option for me. Like, wow. Yeah, and like, why did I do that?
You actually got a degree in gaming?
Kind of. What happened is I got a degree in film and a degree in games, but it wasn't called film and it wasn't called games. It was called digital cinema and emerging media and digital arts. But the things that I focused on were making films and making games.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
J-Dubs, fun fact, a video game degree is actually an AA, up, down, left, right, AB, select, start. That's the official.
Yes.
There you go. That's how you know. That's how you know you're an OG. That's how you know. All right, great. Well, let's keep it going here. I like to ask my guests just a few questions, kind of test their nerdiness. But I think John brought up a good point. He brought up chaotic good. So, Sophia, your favorite class, or first of all, are you familiar with Dungeons and Dragons?
I am.
Like Baldur's Gate type of lore. Okay. What is your favorite class in a typical Dungeons and Dragons type of game, and why?
Oh boy.
I feel like I resonate with this class, although it kind of also depends on the day. And I also like playing as this class. I like bards because I have a ukulele and a keyboard, and I love songwriting. And I have written a film and played in Dungeons and Dragons games where characters that I wrote or created had magical ukuleles that they used to like do their powers.
Wow.
Nice.
You've written so was the film produced?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, was that for school or like a personal project?
So it was for a 24-hour film festival. I've done a couple of those, and this one in particular was a like class / just like project that we did at a Comic-Con.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And did it get good reviews, or is this something we can see out there in the public, in the wild?
Yes. Yeah. It is.
Okay. Are you
in
starring in
chat?
it?
Link in notes.
Yeah, I'll have to give you the link because I'm like
Okay.
I don't remember. I know that it's out there, but I don't remember where to find it. It's
Okay.
on my. I'm pretty sure it's on my IMDb page. If you
Okay.
type in Sophia Louisa Miller on
All
IMDb.
right. Chat's gonna check you out now. They're gonna be like, all right, let's check out
Yeah.
Sophia. Awesome. I love that. Yeah, Bards is one of my favorites too. What about you, John?
Oh man, it's why don't you go first, Justin? Because I think I might have a prop that can help explain
Okay.
mine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for D&D, this is for D&D only. Because usually I'm a huge RPG fan, so I play Final Fantasy and World of Warcraft. Usually in RPG, I do play the rogue, assassin, mage, high DPS.
Okay. Okay.
High risk, high reward type
Mhm.
of character. But in D&D, I'm different.
Mm-hmm.
So with Dungeons and Dragons, I do love playing the paladin. I love playing the paladin that is not so much justice related, but more or less holy related, but a dark paladin. So there are going to be scenarios where I'm still a holier than thou, and I'm trying to follow the brotherhood of paladins, but also if you mess with me, I will step over the line of the paladins and smite you with my dark sword. And sometimes that will change me into a better character, and it might actually double my power. But then I always have the option to come back down as a chaotic good paladin. So it's a little bit of my taste of my world, where I do like to become that ultra violent paladin that I'm not supposed to be. But I also like helping. Another reason with paladin, I like helping out my crew, so I can tank, and then I can also cure them disease or with holy spells if I need to.
Nice. So versatile.
Yeah.
With a little bit hint of psychoticness in it.
Yeah. Chaotic neutral.
Edge. Yeah.
Chaotic neutral. You hit it right on the head. It is chaotic neutral. Yep.
Chaotic neutral is the hardest alignment to play, and nearly damn impossible to DM for. You're like, how do I? It's just random. It's just random. You know what it is? Really, Jim from The Office is chaotic neutral.
It really boils down to if you have a good dungeon master or not. Because a good dungeon master will keep you in check, where you can't. Because sometimes I will be just chaotic evil all the time. And be like, wait a minute, that does not fall in line with your, So it does depend on the right DM. But John, curious to see what your prop is and what is your favorite class.
Well, I too love bards. Because I've played them for some time now in some form. And I'm so excited because our new campaign that includes a couple of folks who folks might know from LinkedIn. I am playing a bard from the College of Requiem. This is brand new. D&D Beyond just pushed this. And it's basically a bard necromancer. And I'm tweaking it to essentially be the lead singer of My Chemical Romance. So
nice.
Very excited to play. The potential for puns and ridiculous early 2000s references is big. I might grow out the...
I was going to say, you should do the one side. The one side part.
I might grow out my Toby.
And then cry all the time during when you're playing.
Yep.
I love that. An emo bard. I can totally see that. Oh, great.
I write sins, not tragedies, okay? That's all I'm saying.
Oh my god.
Yeah, totally. All right. Are
he
you
only
guys...
speaks in Fallout Boy and Panic at the Disco references.
Fallout Boy. Oh my god.
Yes.
Are you guys ready to play a game? Let's switch up. Are you guys ready to play a game here?
Yeah.
I love games.
I had to bust out.
Way to go full Jigsaw on us, J-Dubs.
Yeesh. Well, we're gonna play a game here.
It's called Minesweeper.
All right, can you guys?
Oh my god!
You guys see my game?
Hey.
Guess that video game.
This is one of those moments where everything's gonna go
No. I kept it. I didn't keep it too down the path of of hard, where it's going to be extremely hard. But it's going to be somewhat easy. It is somewhat pop culture. But I don't want to give away too much. But okay, so the rules of this game is pretty simple. We're going to be guessing the game. This is my trusty, fancy PowerPoint presentation. Busting out the PowerPoint presentation.
Go to the big screen for this one.
Yeah, each slide, I will give you guys one guess. Just one guess. Now, if you guess it pretty early, which John, you may or may do. If you do, just maybe
I think Sophia's gonna smoke me. What are you talking about?
Keep it to yourself. Maybe get to the slide like 3 or 4, if you want to announce the answer. But I did make it very hard in the beginning, and as we get to the end, I'm giving away like free samples. Like, come on, guys, you guys got to get this.
Like Costco. So
Yeah.
J-Dubs, just to be clear, the goal is is there a buzzer system, or like are we just writing it down and then we do like a certain...
No buzzer system. Just each of you get one guess before I move on to the next slide.
Okay.
Okay.
You guys ready?
Let's party.
Double Dutch.
Let's do this.
Jump rope.
And then, as always,
No.
our guest will always get the first guess of each slide here. All right. First slide.
All right. Game of Thrones.
Is there a Game of Thrones game? I don't know.
I mean, there's bound to be.
Yeah. But no, but okay, again, these are not actual so I will clarify. These are not actual images from the game. These are images to inspire what the game is.
Oh,
so
okay.
they're inspiration photos, not necessarily screenshots. So it's a dragon for those out there who are.
I mean, I do have an actual game that's in my head, but I don't know. I mean, because I'm sure there's lots of
you
games
did Game of Thrones
dragons.
for your
Yeah.
answer, John. What is going to be your answer? There's a dragon for out those who cannot see the picture.
That looks a lot like Alduin from Skyrim to me.
Well, again, John, it's just more inspiration. These are not inspiration. Don't dig that deep.
I mean, it doesn't have Deathwing energy.
What video game has a dragon in it?
Skyrim.
I mean, Skyrim.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say originally. I was gonna say Skyrim,
and no.
and then
Good
I said,
guesses.
like, Game of Thrones.
Good guesses.
Wow, is that Deathwing?
No, you only get one guess. John is trying to.
It's like a guess with multiple chapters.
All right, so all right, we're gonna move on to the next slide, because
we don't even get to know until the end. Oh no, you told us no. Okay, got it.
Next clue is a picture of Zeus and the Olympians, for those who cannot see it. Sophia, your guess.
Like, there's games coming to my head, but I'm like, one of these things makes sense, but maybe not the other. Or
Go with your gut. You get many more guesses until we get it right.
Okay. Assassin's Creed.
Ooh, good guess. I didn't know if there's any gods in Assassin's Creed.
Well,
Yeah,
because
maybe.
there's the Greek one.
Yeah, good guess.
Yeah.
Good guess. But no, sadly, no. John.
It's a trick question. This is the cover art from my Percy Jackson fan fiction series. I feel like you're trying to trick us.
Do you have Percy Jackson on your Magic Might, type
full tattoo back piece? It's all Percy.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I would. It's actually a Percy Jackson anime called One Purse. It's very long. So I feel like you're trying to trick us into saying God of War or Age of Empires.
That's what I was thinking too. Is
right?
The trick.
What is your guess?
No. I'm not saying either of those. I'm not saying
one
either
guess.
of those. I say Civilization.
Civilization.
Interesting.
Ooh, I can see that. I can see that. Did Civilization had
Similar
a dragon?
Jason.
Did it have a dragon in one of those games?
No.
No.
See, that's the thing is.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Sophia.
Oh, I was saying that's the thing is, I'm like, now I'm thinking on this, and then I'm forgetting about the first part.
Yeah. Well, this game is going pretty good in my opinion. Next slide.
Okay, I have a new idea in my head now.
So next slide, we're looking at tactical ops. We're looking at special forces.
Okay.
And again,
Got it.
don't think too much about the actual picture. It has really nothing to do. It's just inspiration. It's a clue to the video game.
So, okay, I'm gonna say, because maybe, like John was saying, there's some like trick where you're trying to kind of get different video games to come to our head as we go through each one, but like there's actually maybe some other kind of like clue that it actually is. And I'm gonna say Hades because Hades
Ooh.
has uh, a dragon, I'm pretty sure, but it's not like a big scary dragon. And then also there's like all the gods, and then there's like the different powers and the way that you can use them, and like there are like guns and things, or maybe the gun is not quite the right answer, but like arrows and things. So it could have that kind of vibe.
I can see that. That's such a great guess. Sophia going with the deep dive analysis. I love it. But no, I'm going to say no. Good guess, though.
So this feels, I mean, it looks like it's from Ghosts. So Ghost Recon kind of a scenario, or Call of Duty, that is. But I feel like this is moving us more. I feel like I'm moving. If you're trying to trick us with genre, so like now I'm leaning more towards like Mortal Kombat, because there's Reptile, there's gods and different pantheons being represented. I mean, you've even got Rambo in there now. So if the next slide is Rambo, then it's definitely Mortal Kombat.
So what's your guess?
Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat? Oh, that's the next slide. Autograph. That's the next slide. Ice cubes. That's the next slide. Lightning. That's the next slide.
Oh shit!
John is
Mortal
right.
Kombat. Dude, that was a complete
Wow,
random
you
nonsense
guessed
guess.
it.
That was complete horse nonsense on my part.
Wow,
I would not have
believe you
guessed
guessed that. That is so good. I mean, come on now.
Thank
that
you,
is so
TikTok,
good.
for just randomly being the most recent video that I watched before this show. Yay!
Also,
That
I
is
just
so good.
remembered the dragon in Hades is not a dragon. It was Dusa. I was like,
Yeah.
there's a dragon in that,
Yeah.
right? And then I thought about it and I was like, wait, no, she's snakes, not a dragon.
Yeah, Medusa.
Sophia,
but good guess
I'm
with
halfway
the
through
gods.
Hades 2 right now, and it is so good.
Oh yeah, I'm jelly. Yeah, it's been like a couple
Whoa.
years since I last played Hades, so I was like, I remember a dragon. Yeah, she's a cute little dragon. And then I was like, wait, no.
All right, I'm gonna do another quick game. Hopefully, this one it's a little bit faster. You guys can randomly just spit out names. Let's play a game. Name the top 10 most expensive video games ever made. So just like in the movies, where Waterworld was one of the most expensive movies ever made because it was ridiculously all the props, and they actually made a whole Waterworld for that movie. Think back of the most expensive video games ever made. Why was it expensive to make in the first place? What games? I will give as much help as I can, but this is kind of like a fast round robin session. Just start spitting out names in the top 10, and I'll name the rank, and I'll give you hints throughout. So we're going to give it about, what timer should we do?
Are we
5-minute
allowed to
timer?
ask questions?
You can.
But will you
know.
answer them?
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if I'll keep it open. How about that? Because I don't want to give it away too much.
Yeah.
But I will start dropping hints throughout. So I'm gonna give it. Let's do 5 minutes. You think that's good enough?
5 minutes on the clock.
All right, start.
Okay, so my thought is like Hideo Kojima like often gets in trouble for like making like really big games. So that's one of the things I'm thinking. And then another thing that I'm thinking is like, is there a difference between like are we accounting for like price of like 1980s video games versus price
Factor
of
for inflation.
Yeah,
like,
inflation.
inflation. So that's
Yes,
that
but not
was
so
the
much.
question.
Yes, not so much. But start naming titles. We'll play it like hot and cold.
Legend of Zelda.
The Legend
Breath
of
of the
Zelda
Wild.
is not on the top 10.
GTA. These are games that have been released, right?
Yes.
Oh, that's a good question too.
GTA 6 would definitely be on there if that was possible. I'd say GTA 5.
GTA 5 is number one.
What?
$265 million to make that game. It was released in 2013. The game set a brand new benchmark for the cost of game development and marketing, combining it to make it the most expensive game ever made. Good guess, John. So number one's crossed.
I think, Amir posted about that like a year ago, and for some reason that stuck out in my head. because he put his
Wow.
own. I think he had like an Emir on his like face on one of the characters. Disturbing, but obviously memorable.
Yeah. What other guesses you guys have?
Okay, so Death Stranding.
Nope. The only
What?
Death Stranding.
I'm so surprised. I thought that would be
dude.
so much.
It's not up there.
Oh my gosh.
I feel like it might be
Think of
biased
some classic
because,
games. Think of
like,
some
if you
classic-
think about the amount of money that has been spent on sustaining World of Warcraft or Star Citizen or EVE Online, right? Or
World of
even
Warcraft
Yeah.
is not on there, by the way. Is not on the top 10.
Mhm.
It was made in the garage in the basement. Remember, World of Warcraft was made a long time ago, 2004.
But the cost of keeping it up. Okay, Diablo 4.
Diablo 4 is not on there. I will tell you,
Damn.
it's not a Blizzard game. Give you that hint.
Ooh. Street Fighter, because you also had to make all the like big arcade things. The machines.
Street Fighter is not on the top 10.
Such a good
And I will say there is no fighting game on here.
Oh, that nukes my next
So
guess.
give you more hints.
What
Think
the big
franchises.
Oh,
Think-
StarCraft 2. Oh, you know, you
Again,
said
no Blizzard game.
Mario.
No
Oh, I
Blizzard
thought
game
you
has made the
said
list. Think franchises. Think popular games.
Mario.
I'll say
Wait,
Star
how
Citizen.
specific do I have to be?
Star Citizen's not on the list.
Weak.
Think of popular games.
Mario Kart?
I will give you another hint since we're getting close to time.
Genshin
Shooters.
Impact.
Shooters. Think of shooters.
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty. I will give you this. Call of Duty
Ooh.
Modern Warfare 2 is number 2 on the list. And Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 is number 7 on the list.
CSGO?
Oh,
Counter-Strike?
CSGO is not on the list. Think of movies.
Damn.
Think
Last
popular
of Us
titles.
Part 2.
Yeah.
The
Nice.
Last of Us Part 2 is not on the top 10 list.
Destiny? Okay,
Destiny is number 4, 140 million, which rumors actually said it was up to 500 million considering the marketing involved.
Sonic?
But Bungie really wanted to go all out and did 140 million for Destiny on number 4. So you're still missing number 3, 5, 6, and 9.
You know, I remember Cyberpunk had a huge push.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It was like a
Good
real expensive
guess,
initial
but it's not on the
thought.
top 10 list for the
Damn.
most expensive video game ever made.
Is Sonic on there?
Sonic is not on there.
Because you said movies, and I was like, oh, there have been a few movies.
Mhm.
Oh, Pokemon.
Pokemon is not on the top 10
Dang
list for the most
it.
expensive video game ever made.
How about Final Fantasy? Any of the Final Fantasies, maybe?
None of the Square Enix games made it on there.
Oh.
Way to go, Square Enix. Frugal. Well played, guys.
Think of
What about
of
Bandai
universes.
Namco?
Oh, yeah.
Is
no Bandai Namco, no fighting. Think of
Oh, right,
universes. Think of like canon universes. Like
Halo?
Avengers.
Marvel?
So Halo?
Halo surprisingly is not on the list.
Oh,
Wait,
wow.
but Super Smash has a bunch of different
Oh,
characters.
yeah.
Super Smash is not on the list.
How about like Red Dead?
Bing, there you go. Ding ding ding. Red Dead Redemption 2, 120 million. Rockstar's 2018 game.
What's so crazy is so much of this is marketing. Like you think about like what they
Oh
the
yeah,
crazy marketing stuff that they
for
did.
sure. But it works out great because all the names you guys already named have been top 10 titles. All right, we're getting close to time here. I'll give you another hint.
God of War?
I'll give you another hint. Do not try.
Star Wars.
Jedi Survivor?
Star Wars: The Old Republic came in number 3 at 200 million.
Knights of the Old Republic?
The Old Republic MMORPG game, which was released in 2011 by BioWare, 200 million. That game is still going strong, but it's not as much as World of Warcraft. You know, World of Warcraft fan base is 144 million users actively. Baldur's Gate 3 active users is 116 million. And the player base for Star Wars is only 12 million.
I'm like 3,000 of those users on Baldur's Gate 3, by the way.
I also
All
started
right,
thinking
well-
about all the Lego things and like how much like IP there is in that.
All right. Well, you guys are pretty good. You guys are only missing 4 games. So times is up. So number 5. So let's just run down the list. So number 1 is Grand Theft Auto 5
Mhm.
at 265 million.
Yeah.
Number 2 is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 at 250 million. Number 3 comes in at Star Wars: The Old Republic, 200 million. Number 4 is Destiny, 140 million. Number 5 is Shadow of the Tomb Raider game, that 2018 game at 135 million. That's the one you missed. Number 6 is Red Dead Redemption 2. Number 7 is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, which they kind of share the same Modern Warfare. Number 8 is Disney Infinity. If you guys remember Disney Infinity, Disney invested a lot in 2013 to combine toys into video games. Did it work out? Obviously not.
They're like amiibo play.
It was kind of like an amiibo. I remember playing Disney Infinity. Number 9, the original, well, not the original, but Tomb Raider 2013 game.
Tomb Raider's on here twice?
Well, Shadow of the Tomb Raider was a 2018 game, and Tomb Raider is a 2013 game reboot. The last one, you guys may or may not know this, is Max Payne 3. Released in 2012.
Man.
Yeah, it's like The Punisher, third-person shooter detective.
Bullet time.
Yeah.
Isn't that right? Like,
I remember that game. You were doing like the Matrix moves, like, you know, you can stop time and.
Yeah, I honestly believe that's the first appearance of Bullet Time.
Yeah. Well, it was released. Max Payne 3 was released in 2012. I can't remember when Max Payne 1 was.
First gen was. I built a computer just to play that game because it was crazy.
Yeah, a lot of people did. Back in the day, you really had to turn off the shadows. You had to like remove all your programs.
I need people to have eyelids. No.
That's another thing I didn't think of was like how much it like takes from your processor to play the game. Yeah.
It was a battle. We had to put like fans in our room, just, you know, constantly on our computers. I remember always constantly removing memory, updating my memory, cleaning scan disks just to play World of Warcraft every single day. It was crazy.
Well, the heat that comes out of these newer car, I have a 4080, and that thing, I could cook a Totino's pizza roll on top of that thing, man.
Yeah, the new graphics cards, they are definitely taking up some heat here. Well, good. Two fun games. You guys are actually doing really, really well. Let's do another topic here as we get into wrapping up here. Gaming. So I don't know what your age group is, and I know it's a gentleman not to ask. So Sophia, I'm assuming, just say yes or no. I'm assuming you're Gen Z.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're Gen Z. Okay. So you're actually getting close to the age where this hot topic comes in. Gaming as an adult, gaming in your 30s and above. You know, how's that like for you guys? What's it like for you guys? What are the cons? What are the pros?
Are you asking if it's cringe?
Does it give cringe? Yeah. Some people love it. I mean, I'll start off. So gaming in your 30s, obviously the pros is you have enough money to afford anything that you want now. You don't have to save up. You don't have to work the double shift at In-N-Out Burger to get that PS5. You have that play money. You can go. You have money saved up where you can actually go get those systems, and you don't have to fight for it. You know, waiting 3 to 4 jobs. So that's the pro. The con, of course, you just don't have time. You obviously don't have time. It's just you have a lot more adult responsibilities now in your 30 plus as an adult. So you just don't have time. So there you go. What do you guys think?
Well, like I feel like now I think I have like a different perspective of it than I did when I was a kid. Where when I was a kid, I thought that like playing games meant it was like only like the really big popular titles, and now it's like, oh, I can go and like, you know, either really long story driven things or like, you know, shooters that, you know, like online shooters and things like that. And now it's like, oh, I can go like play a game of Overwatch and then go like do a task, or I can play like a game on my phone if I like have, you know, time and, you know, waiting in an airport or something like that. Like there's so many different things that I like realize is gaming now. Like I can exercise by playing Dance Dance Revolution or doing Wii Sports, things like that, where in the past, like I didn't think, like it's weird, but I didn't think of Wii Sports as like gaming. I just was like, oh, I'm just exercising.
Yeah. Wow. With the dance pad, and
Yeah.
VR too, right? Beat Saber. People I know
Yeah.
are using that as exercise right now, which is
Yeah.
great. If you can incorporate gaming, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Justin, your point around, I think about cost, right? And maybe opportunity cost is what comes into play, because the cost of games is relatively fixed, adjusting for inflation. But yeah, when you're in your 40s, you may not need to work a double shift at In and Out. Depends upon the layoff situation. Maybe somebody is doing that, but the time cost, the opportunity cost is quite high. You're not spending time with your kids. You're not spending time doing, things for where you would relatively probably generate a lot of money per hour versus earlier in your lifetime. But I feel like, especially now, this is a very American, like this very US centric perspective. I'll just say that as a disclaimer, so any of our European fans aren't like, all right, buddy. Here's the thing. It's so mainstream now. Gaming has become so mainstream that I feel like it's actually an answer to one of the problems that I think we're really encountering now, which is loneliness.
Mm-hmm.
I think that loneliness for people in their 30s
yeah.
and 40s, and this sort of isolationist world that we've created, I feel that games have both been contributory to that and are an answer for it.
Mm-hmm.
Where I find that when I'm out and about and I'm just in a room with like 10 other people, games is almost always the first thing we have in common.
Yeah.
We're all playing something, maybe it's not all the same thing, but we're all playing something and we can relate on that front. And it's pretty fun.
Yeah. When I just recently took a trip to Europe with my mom, and I think the first conversation I had with someone after getting out off the airplane in Switzerland was with this Turkish girl who was wearing an Among Us sweatshirt.
Nice.
And I was like, there was a little bit of a language barrier, and I didn't know what language she spoke because we were in, an international airport. And so I think I went up to her and said in German, because we were in Zurich, and I was like, gaming? I was like, Videospiele?
Das gibt's.
And she was like, no Deutsch.
Does that mean that she did play gaming, or she didn't understand?
I literally just in English said no, and then I said Deutsch, which means German.
Oh, she said no Deutsch.
I don't know. I don't remember what she said. She did speak English. She didn't speak German.
Oh, nice.
She spoke English and Turkish.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, gaming saves lives. We talk about that all the time. Gaming saves lives. It's used as an escape for a lot of people. Especially during COVID, we saw a lot of people with the loneliness and COVID, and people will always battle tooth and nail and saying, it is their reality. When people, the term that I don't like hearing a lot is touch grass, which I can understand. Touch grass means take a break. I understand that concept, but when people use it as a concept of you have no life, well, talk to the World of Warcraft community. They're like, that is my life. Who cares? Who cares if we want to be in a world where we dive in and have a community and stuff like that. Just like other people have a world of football, other people have a world of fishing. I have friends who are fish, and it baffles. I don't understand it. Just because you don't understand something doesn't mean it's wrong. So, for me personally, I don't understand fishing. They will go out there the earliest of the mornings, 3:00 in the morning, and stay out there till 11 o'clock at night. And I'm like, how many fish did you catch? 2. And they think it's the best thing in the world. They will leave their wife and kids just to go fishing all day long. It's sort of the same with gaming. You may not understand our world in gaming, but you got to respect it. It's because we were, everyone has their own.
Yeah. When I was 4 years old, I was really obsessed with Spider-Man. Okay, I say when I was 4 years old, I was obsessed with Spider-Man, but I'm obsessed with Spider-Man now.
Wait, which Spider-Man version?
That stopped. Yeah.
Wait, let's test out the Gen Z. Which Spider-Man version do you like the best?
Well, so the Sam Raimi films, that's what I grew up on.
Nice.
But now, there's
I'm talking about the movie. I'm talking about the celebrity. Which celebrity Spider-Man do you like the best?
Oh, celebrity Spider-Man. I like Tobey Maguire, but yeah, which is the Sam
Oh,
Raimi
you just
films.
got mad. You just got mad points for. You just got
The
mad
Raimi
points.
era.
Yeah.
Points.
And also like I don't I have friends who've met his parents.
Oh,
Yeah.
his parents,
The
Or his
McGuires,
mom,
as
his
it were.
mom.
the McGuires.
Yeah.
You saw the McGuires? What?
Yeah, the
Wow.
McGuire. Yeah, I'm like really like cool with the McGuires, you know.
Yeah.
Chill. It's no big deal.
But when I was 4 years old, I had like a shirt, a Spider-Man shirt, Spider-Man shorts, Spider-Man shoes, glow in the dark. They were awesome. Sometimes they would scare me because they would glow in the dark at night, and I would be like, "What is that thing? Why are their eyes glowing at me?" And then I'd turn the lights on. Remember, it was my shoes. And I went to the theaters and I watched the first Spider-Man movie in theaters with my aunt. And afterward, I was like, "Oh my god, I can't wait till I can meet Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man. Like, yes, like when do I get to meet Spider-Man? I want to go to New York." And she was like, "Oh, Spider-Man isn't real. He's an actor named Tobey Maguire." And immediately she was like, "Oh no."
She
Like,
she just told you Santa Claus wasn't real.
yeah,
Yeah.
she just told me the Tooth
Oh,
Fairy wasn't real. She told me the Easter
no.
Bunny's not real. And I go,
Oh.
"He's an actor?" And she's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "That means anyone can be Spider-Man?" And she's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "So one day I could be Spider-Man."
I love it.
And
that intellectual nerd in you right there.
yeah, I was like, "Yes,
Love it.
Spider-Man's not real, but he's still real. I can be Spider-Man. Anyone can be Spider-Man." And so that's something that got me really into storytelling and like what you were saying about community and gaming being like this community. We have the Spider-Verse. Literally anyone and anything can be Spider-Man.
Really, so
And,
many multiverses.
Yeah.
Which we don't ever speak. We don't speak of Madam Web. I mean, that is like, well, you know, no. Voldemort, we don't speak about Madam Web.
I had a great experience with Madam Web. I fell asleep to it on the airplane.
It was very peaceful.
That's a peaceful experience. Oh man, yeah. I mean, we all know that Madam Web was a forced game that you had to fulfill the Sony contracts. So, but I mean, it did have its point. There's multiverses out there, and when I did hear a rumor, and I've been wanting this rumor forever. So my absolute favorite Spider-Man game is Miles Morales.
Yes,
I love Miles Morales because he's the one. He's like trying to be like Spider-Man, but he understands he cannot. He has big shoes to fill, and then also because his minority, he's in Spanish Harlem, and he just feels awkward all around. Like that's what I love about Spider-Man in general. Was Spider-Man he knew he was awkward. He wasn't like Tony Stark or he's like this rich playboy. It's like I can get any girl I want. You know what I mean? Which I love that too, but I loved about Spider-Man is he knew he was awkward. He knew he was a nerd. He knew there was challenges, that he wasn't perfect. And that's what I love about Miles Morales is that he knew he wasn't like the original Peter Parker and that he had a lot to go through and like a Spanish Spider-Man, like, who are you, kid? Like, go away. So, but the Spider-Man Miles Morales game, Spider-Man 2 and the Miles Morales game, the PS5 is my absolute favorite. I just heard a rumor that they are casting for Miles Morales right now, and I cannot wait for that movie. I know there's gonna be some haters because it's not the original Spider-Man, story, but I love a different story. I love the Miles Morales story.
Can we get our audience to just let the casting producers know that Sophia is available for Spider-Gwen?
for Spider-Gwen,
yes.
Actively,
Spider-Gwen.
Yeah.
I think I would be a great Spider-Gwen, and I would love that so much.
She's super hot. Spider-Gwen is super hot.
Yeah, I love her so much.
Also, Betty White.
Betty White, super hot.
I'm just gonna say it.
I mean,
we were all thinking it, right? I know, chat. We were all thinking it.
Sophia has both. She has the Betty White and the Gwen. She has both. So.
You know what it could be? It could be Sophia current day, and then she comes backwards from the Spider-Verse future, and it's Betty White. And she's like, "Hey,
yeah,
you actually saved everything." And
with the Golden Girls, and then somehow she turns into Farrah Fawcett from what's those three girls' name?
Charlie's Angels.
Charlie's Angels.
Oh
Wow! I don't
Talk
know
about the
throwback. I even get that reference.
Throwback.
So okay, there's an era of Spider-Man that I feel like came and went, but would have without this, Spider-Man would have probably not been anything. And this is the Todd McFarlane era of Spider-Man comics.
Yeah.
Todd McFarlane, who was also I don't know if he created Spawn, I think he co-created Spawn, but he completely took the comic book genre and went like, everything up to then was like the boom, thwap, comic book, like crazy, silly stuff. He was like, nah, let's go dark, gritty reality, but super, super high detail. He actually has toys, like the McFarlane line of toys still to this day is like unreal. But that first Spider-Man comic where he's sitting in that web, or he's upside down, I believe, and he's fighting Kraven. Oh man, that like changed the game for me. Because I was always middle of the road with Spider-Man. I was more of a Wolverine kind of X-Men guy, and Spider-Man and the Avengers were both like, yeah, okay, like they're around, like they're important enough. But after that, I was like, yep, okay, I'm a Spider-Man stan. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Spider-Man Stan Lee. Ayo.
You do have to acknowledge the dark side. There is a lot of dark things in Spider-Man where I think the two writers were trying to separate themselves. They're like, okay, we want the friendly Spider-Man, but then there are other writers, because comic books have different writers and different artists all the time to continue the story. And then there's canon stories, right, where it's true that you have to follow the storyline, but then there's non-canon stories like Spider-Ham. You guys know Spider-Ham?
Yeah.
You guys,
Yeah.
Spider-Ham, the multiverse. Spider-Man is a pig. I mean, there you go, right? That's the type that I love in the Stan Lee universe. But you're absolutely right. Like Kraven, if you think about it, Kraven, Venom, Carnage is so dark.
The original anti-hero.
Yeah,
OG.
And I don't think you should keep it light. I don't think you should keep it light like the Peter Parker story, the Stephen Ham or the Spider-Ham story. I think you do need to embellish and actually showcase more of that dark side because they deserve it. Like Kraven is psychotic. Carnage is psychotic. Venom is psychotic, and they deserve that storyline where it's not going to be like like the Saturday morning cartoons where they get punched in the face and like, oh, that's the end of Venom. No, I really want to see Venom torturing Peter Parker, Carnage torturing Peter Parker. That there's a side for that.
There's an aspect too. I wonder how many people know that Gwen, right? Spider-Gwen is a reimagining of Gwen Stacy.
Yeah.
And we had like a brief foray into Gwen Stacy, I think Spider-Man 3. But in the comics, this was very, very, very dark. Like this was like a turning point where Spider-Man had to choose, and Gwen Stacy died, and he was basically had left his how am I forgetting her name? He left his longtime partner.
Oh, Mary Jane.
Mary Jane. There we go, Mary Jane.
MJ.
He had left her and had gone with Gwen Stacy, and then she died, and it was this whole arc. It was real dark.
Yeah.
But actually, opposite of dark. Going back to J-Dubs, you were talking about kind of this nerd geek, a freak flag flying. I believe that the happiest people I know are couples who have, and this spans gender identities. This has nothing to do with who anyone is. This is just the happiest people I know, whether they're in a couple or not, have identified something that brings them joy, and then unashamedly and absolutely pursue that thing. Not to the point of compromising their lives, but some of the happiest people I know play WoW together. Some of the happiest people I know go to Comic-Con together. They cosplay. They message each other all day long about ideas for their Halloween yards and these things. And I think it's that's the beauty of games, is that it's something that you can really encapsulate and understand, as opposed to some big ethereal concept. It's, I love games. And if somebody else loves games, you both probably love a lot of the same. And I think that's beautiful.
Yeah, I remember writing a LinkedIn post on how the most common question I get is, Justin, I'm afraid when I go to networking events, you always talk about networking. I'm afraid to talk to people. And there's a couple tricks. One, you go to a Comic-Con, you go to a gaming convention, it is so easy to jump up a conversation. Everyone there shares the same thing, just like BlizzCon, where John and I went. Like, you can literally just say one word, like you just said, gaming, right? In an international language. And I think if you go to these conventions, people get hung up on like dating, or they get hung up on like getting rejection. You're not going to get rejected in these events. You're going to feel right at home. You can be the most socially awkward person and still have a conversation. I remember socially awkward people will come up to me all the time, and they couldn't even say like finish their sentences, and I would just be like, "Oh, I know what you're talking about." it's that kind of relationship that you experience when you go to these conventions. Like, it's okay if you stutter, it's okay if you can't finish this, because you're awesome. But the most cool trick that I found out and researched is, if you're going to one of these networking events, I'm going to ask you guys a question. Where do you think is the best place that when you first walk into a room, where's the best place to go to network? Is it by the door? Is it by a group of large people? Like, where do you think is the best place? Where would you go once you first walk into a networking, meeting or convention? Where would you go?
Well, usually when I go, I try to go find someone who isn't talking to anyone and then make space for more people.
Ooh, nice.
Like recently I
Ooh.
went to one and I made a really good connection because I saw someone talking to someone and then that person ended up like kind of leaving the conversation to talk to someone else. And so I said, "Oh, hey, I just saw you were talking to so-and-so. Do you want to join our conversation?" And they did. And now we like have conversations. I might be helping them with a project that they have just
Nice.
because it was like, I wanted to make sure that they felt welcome. And I think, being inclusive and making sure that people feel comfortable is, in my opinion, the best way to network.
That's the second best answer.
Second
Absolutely.
best.
That is the second best.
I'll take
answer.
it.
It is absolutely. Amir talks about it all the time. He always says he always goes find the person who's not talking and to always talk to them instead of going to the larger crowd. But I have a feeling John's going to say the large crowd. So John, what is your take? Because I seen John in action. I have seen John in action. He does go for the larger crowds.
It's because I'm looking for you and the crowd's around you, Justin.
Oh, okay.
So it's very easy answer. That's the whole thing. I would say, so there's the like what I think is probably the right answer, and then there's what I would do.
What you do, what you normally do.
But first, I think it's important to mention, I really appreciate, Sophia, the inclusive mentality and like approach to probably life in general that you just described right there. And I wonder how many people here have seen a true networker is rare. A true networker, and this is not somebody who's good at talking to people and like making connections. The true networker, you go into a room with 100 people, and this person is actively identifying and introducing people and forming connections, like the seminal Marvel movie Madam Web. But no, in seriousness, the person who's like actively saying, "Oh, Justin mentioned that he worked for Blizzard, and Sophia mentioned that she would one day love to work at Blizzard. Oh, we should make sure that they connect," and then they do. And you see them walking around connecting dots.
That's a good
like
point.
They've got the back of a Highlights magazine in 1985. That is one thing that I'm not saying I'm that person, but I aspire to be that person. And so I like to be the person that creates that environment if you can. And if not, I would say that anywhere there's food, honestly, because it's where people are going to be pausing. The guard is down, where everyone's getting coffee. It doesn't matter if you started a game studio, you're about to win Game of the Year, or you're recently laid off intern, right? You're all getting coffee. You're drinking the same Starbucks terrible Pike Place.
So I love that answer, because I've done that before, or I have said, "Hey, Sophia, you got to meet John," because and I'll bring them together and walk away. John has done that to me a couple of times. He's like, "Hey, Justin introduced you to XYZ," and then he walks away.
I have a friend who does that to me too, Alejandro Sandoval. He does that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's awesome. I love that, because you're connecting, and then they'll also remember you because you're the person who connected them. But John, to answer your question, so research has shown food is actually the second worst answer where you should be at.
Second worst,
because with
is it worse the bathroom?
Because with food, you're just there for a reason, and you want to get the food, and you want to get away, or you want to be alone, and you don't want to be bothered by, "Hey, what do you do for a living?" while you're hungry.
I like to open with, "We've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty." And I find
when you said bathroom though, when I was at GDC, I made so many connections, and probably some of my best connections in the bathroom.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that it works like this is like a blanket statement for everyone, but I'm just saying through research, it does show by the door is the number one worst answer, because most people when they come in, They just send it be by the door and they scan the room, and everyone else is scanning the room. So you're all at the door scanning the room.
Yeah.
And then also when you talk to someone, it's kind of forced, right? When you're at the door, you're like, oh, hey, while you're talking to them, you're still scanning the room.
Yeah.
And you're trying to put your pass on, and you're like, oh,
yeah, that's the worst. Yeah. The worst advice that you can give someone is don't be by, when you go to a networking event, don't be by the room. So the best place to go, and this is kind of common sense, and I have seen this worked a lot, the bar. You go to the bar. Yeah, absolutely. Whether you're waiting in line or when you get your drink, because everybody, when they first walk in, what do they want to do? They want to scan the room, and they're like, you know what? This is too much for me. I'm too stressed out. Let me get a drink. Whether they drink alcohol or not, they still want water. They still want, grape juice, or they still want alcohol. So they go to the bar. And then the bar is when you can jump a conversation while you're in line, or when you get a drink, you're waiting there, and people are actually more receptive to opening you, to talking with you right there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Fun fact, the actual answer is next to a sign that says free Steam keys.
Yeah.
Right, everyone's really excited to talk to you.
That works too. All right, guys. Well, let's wrap it up. This has been a fun show, fun interactive show. Sorry, Kiwi, you were not here today, but we had an amazing guest, Sophia. Sophia, I want to leave the floor to you. I don't think we finished in the beginning. What are you up to now? What are you working on? What are you excited for? What are your general thoughts?
Where can folks find you?
Yeah.
Yeah, where can people find you?
All right. Find me. Okay, now I'm like, what's my TikTok? I recently changed it. You can find me on LinkedIn, Sophia Louisa Miller. And then, okay, I found my TikTok. It's Sophia Games in Pink.
All one word?
Yeah, all one word, Sophia Games in Pink.
What are we expecting on your TikTok? Is it is it TikTok dances, or are you doing TikTok dances?
There's some gaming content on there. I talk about, sometimes it's just videos of me playing games. Sometimes it's me talking a little bit more in depth about marketing and community about games. Sometimes it's me in a shrimp filter as that one.
Okay.
You come for the games, you stay for the shrimp. Generally.
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was me being Taylor Shrimp. I was singing.
Yeah, I see the most viewed video of yours. Okay, gotcha. The shrimp. Yeah. Go for the shrimp.
Go for the shrimp. Yeah, I also go in and I hide videos sometimes. I don't know. I'm like,
King of Crabs. Did you play? So you played that game, right? The indie game.
Yeah, I played King of Crabs.
It was so good. I love that game, the indie game. Oh my gosh, it was so
What
good.
game?
King of Crabs.
King of Crabs. It's like Elden Ring, but Disney with a crab.
Okay. I have a bone to pick with the people who named King of Crabs. Because
hey, our sponsorships does not rely on Sophia, by the way. King of Crabs. Okay, but go ahead, Sophia. Finish your statement.
As someone who used to live in Alaska, technically it's crab is how you say multiple crab. Crabs is something else.
Crabs is something you get a special shampoo on Amazon for.
So I just
put that in, Kiwi. Don't you dare cut that out, Kiwi.
Crab is also how you identify who not to date in high school.
I feel like at that point it's far too late. Your identification process has failed once you're aware.
Oh yeah, I mean this is an unhinged podcast, so fuck it, whatever.
Yeah, gotta hand it to Alaska, man. Every time.
A true story. I do remember one time a girl did get called out for having crabs in high school, and everyone avoided her like the plague. No. She was pretty hot. I will grant this. She was pretty hot, but as soon as that rumor came out, everyone avoided her like the plague.
Sad.
It's so funny because probably completely unfounded.
Yeah, most likely.
Anyway, sorry to defer from what you're Sophia. Go finish.
I'm sorry. Maybe we should cut that out. I'm sorry.
You can't get derailed when there's no rail to begin with, guys.
We'll cut out the crabs.
Sorry. Yeah, I shouldn't have said that, but it's just a thing. All right. Anyway.
So what do you got working on? What do you got working on? What's in the horizon for you?
Yeah. So marketing manager, brand manager, video producer. I love doing all those things. I've been doing some contract freelance work on a few different things, some games. Right now I'm doing a game jam,
Nice.
doing some personal branding stuff. And then you can find me on TikTok, Sophia Games in Pink, or LinkedIn, Sophia Louisa Miller. Although maybe I'm just Sophia Miller on there. I don't know. You'll
We'll
find
sure
me.
put the
I
links
got pink
in the
hair.
bottom. We'll put the links. We'll definitely put that out.
Yes.
All right. Any final thoughts? Any final words of wisdom here before we close it out? Both you and John.
Community is so important. Like that's the thing that I will always like talk about. Like we mentioned about Spider-Man being a Spider-Verse. Anyone can be a spider, anything. If you're passionate about something, go for it. Find your people and don't be afraid to be you. Those are the things that I think are the most important.
Love it. Awesome. Love it. John.
Trying to think of anything that doesn't involve the word crab, and it's just not happening.
Stuck in your head now.
It's too much.
John's reliving memories. Reliving memories of crabs.
I think just how I'm just super grateful and echo everything. Super grateful for Sophia being here and echo everything that she so elegantly just brought to us, which is, have fun and be you and be part of a community, which I just think is so great.
I love that, Sophia's always trying to be inclusive and bring people in and not gatekeep. There's different opinions on gatekeeping and inclusivity, but overall, the main message is, whether you support one or the other, overall, the main message is our community. I love our community here. That's the reason why I reached out to you, Sophia, is I've noticed that you've been in our community. You and John hasn't been introduced, so there you go. There's my connection for the day. There's my
there
good
it is.
For the day. John's going to hit you up now with all these podcasts and audio events. Watch out, Sophia. But it's great to have you on the show here, Sophia. Thank you so much for sharing your journey. Hopefully to have you again back in the future. Looking forward to your journey. But here at RPG, that's what we're all about. So we're really passionate geeks. And unfortunately, Kiwi, hopefully your water break will be fixed. And I do realize that this comics got damaged. So I'm hoping that you do find a solution. So sorry, Kiwi. We do miss you. But we'll see you next time. Sophia, thank you so much. John, as always, is a pleasure. Woo-woo. RPG out. Woo-woo. Woo-woo.